Hello, everybody. I'm sorry it's been a couple of weeks since I connected in this way with you guys, but oh my goodness, it's been so busy. I've had the busiest year of my entire life this year. Um, and since I started doing the courses and meeting all of the people that I meet on the courses, I've ended up doing even more sessions because I always try to give two people the opportunity to have a session with me live in the actual course. But then I always want to give everybody the opportunity to have a session. So I end up arranging a gazillion sessions and I'm just unbelievably busy. That being said, today is my last working day before I break up for the summer. And I'm so ready for a rest. I have worked my absolute behind off this year. From the second that they gave me the heads up in January that I needed to create this new technique, and I was like, why? I don't really understand why. We're all going to be pootling off to New Earth soon. But it seems to be taking a little bit longer than any of us anticipated. And I'm really glad that I've been kept busy with training, because if I hadn't, then yeah, it would have been seeming like forever. So since January of this year, I have worked so incredibly hard, both to get down on paper and video everything to do with my technique, which I'd just been doing anyway, but then also actually doing the training courses, and setting up the website and setting up all of the networking groups that all of my students have access to. It's been so involved and I'm absolutely shattered. And they've told me that I have to take a month off. So I'm having the entire month of August off. So that means no sessions, no YouTube, no training, and I'll be back in September. So this is the last YouTube video for the summer. I'll be back in September. And I've picked what I feel is a really, really good one for the last one. I absolutely love this session. It's one of my favourites that I've done this year. And I'll go on to talk about that in a moment. I just want to briefly mention I have trained up around about 40 people now in my technique. So there's about 40 people around the world who can do what I do. Now, when I do my courses, I keep the groups very small, because I like to be able to give as much one-on-one time as possible to those individuals. And if I've got a massive big group, I can't do that. I like to give people the opportunity to ask questions at the end of every part of my teaching. And again, if I've got a massive big group, I can't do that. So since I started teaching in April, so from April to July, which is April, May, June, July, in 4 months, I've managed to train 40 people, 10 of which are ready to start accepting clients, because those particular individuals were already trained in other methodologies like QHHT and BQH. And so I have 10 practitioners on my website now who are all ready to take paying clients. So if you're wanting to book a session, please do take a look at my brand new practitioners that are trained up, because they will have a lot more availability than I do. I don't have anything now until October time, and I am actually reducing the amount of sessions that I am personally going to do now, because I want to put my emphasis more into the teaching of my technique, to try and get as many people worldwide trained up in it as possible, and less time actually doing the sessions myself. And so that being said, the amount of sessions that I have available now are going to drastically, significantly reduce. And I hope that that's going to encourage people to book more sessions with my students, who have all been trained in my methodology. So the next class, if you are interested in training, if you are interested in making the leap into healing, if you are interested in being able to not only hypnotize people and take them through the quantum space, through past life regression, but if you also want to learn how to identify, firstly, and take off entities and energetic parasites and vampires and implants and all of that kind of thing. If you want to learn how to do that, then I will teach you that in my technique. I'll also teach you how to reboost, revitalize and rebuild people's energetic centers, the chakras throughout, and also seal the aura and heal any fractures within the auric field that is stemmed out of the energetic centers, normally due to trauma or grief or injury or addiction. If you want to learn how to do all of that, please book on to one of my courses. The next one available is the 1st, 2nd and 3rd of September. They will start at 1 p.m. UK time to 6:30 p.m. UK time, which if you're in America, Europe, South Africa, that's going to be a good course for you to go on. It will be early morning time for you if you are in Africa. If you're in Europe, it will just be an hour later. So it'll be a 2 p.m. start. I've also put up another course for Australia and New Zealand. I am running already a course for Australia and New Zealand in September, but it's sold out. So I've put another one on for October. So if you missed the first course, which was September, and you're in Australia and New Zealand and you still want to come and train with me, then I have put another one up on the website for October time. And I am going to start running 2 courses a month now because the demand is there. Now it's become a little bit more well known. The demand is there. I'm going to run 1 course a month for America time zone and Europe and South Africa. And I'm going to run 1 course a month for Australia and New Zealand time zone. And it does end up being for Australia and New Zealand that it's tea time. It's a tea time course that will take you into the evening, but that is much better than it being in the middle of the night or just being at a completely inappropriate time. So you could go to work, you could have some tea, and then you can sit down and do a training course with me until it's time to go to bed. And if that's going to be suitable for you, then please do book on. I'm now taking bookings for October. If anybody wants to book on, but they feel that they can't pay all of the payment in one go, and they want to discuss a training plan, a payment plan, sorry, not a training plan, a payment plan, please do reach out and we will sort something out between us. Don't let that put you off. If you think, I can't pay all of this in one go, please do reach out and we'll sort something out. Not a problem. I just want to get people trained up. That's the most important thing. I want to get as many people in the different places across the world trained up. And the good thing about my technique is it's very, very involved. You're going to know exactly what you're doing across all areas. So if your client goes into trauma in this lifetime, which very often your client will do if a repressed memory comes up, you're going to learn how to deal with that. You're going to learn how to deal with the entities and the grief blocks and the trauma blocks, which stop your client going into a very, very deep theta brainwave state, which is necessary in order for quantum travel. And then also you're going to learn how to take people into the quantum space, into other parts of their tree, out of their twig, into their soul branch, into another part of their tree. I will teach you all of that with my technique. And the beauty of it is if we go into lockdown again, you don't have to stop working because you can do all of your sessions online. But if you're one of those people that prefers to see people face to face, brilliant. You can use this technique face to face. But you're also going to learn how to do all of the other stuff as well as just the quantum travel. So it's very versatile. So just to give a final mention to my students, I do have 10 students on my website now who are all ready to accept paying clients. So please do, if you're looking for a session, reach out and utilize some of my team now. And that's what I am absolutely looking at, developing a team throughout the world that can deal with anything in terms of what might come up in one of these hypnotherapy sessions. That's enough talk for today. I now want to move into this session. Now I want to give a little bit of background on this session first. This particular client I have worked with before. He did an incredible session and I absolutely loved it because he channeled a part of himself, a part of his multidimensional self, which is a dragon. And I love dragons. I love dragon energy. In my lifetime on the Pleiades, the dragons are literally my best friends. Although I'm in a humanoid type form, my best friend is a dragon. So anybody that has dragon energy, I connect with very, very deeply and love them infinitely. And this particular client, when he came to see me the first time, channeled a dragon, and it was wonderful. And this is a repeat session that he did with me, and we learn more of his story. So in session number 1, we just found out that part of his multidimensional self is a dragon. And in this one, we find out more. I am absolutely fascinated by the history of our galaxy. That is my absolute passion. I love helping and healing everybody. I love taking the entities off. I love taking everybody to all of the different parts in terms of the quantum space that they need to heal. But for me, my absolute passion and driving force is the galactic sessions, where you get to find out people's galactic history. And this is one of those sessions. So I hope you enjoy it as much as me. And this is the one that I wanted to share for my final session before I break up for the summer. So I take him through my technique, and he's very, very much in theta. He's very connected. This client is somnambulistic. So when he goes into the theta brainwave state, he literally connects with this other part of himself, and he melts with the consciousness of that individual and becomes that person. Now, not every client that you get as a hypnotherapist or as a practitioner of this methodology is going to be somnambulistic. They're very rare, they're very beautiful. Dolores Cannon, when she wrote her books, would always work with somnambulists for her content, for her books, because they see it and breathe it and feel it and experience it in real time. So this was a very, very beautiful session for me to be able to conduct. I am going to have another slurp before I start because my throat is exhausted. I've got 2 sessions to do today as well after this. A very, very busy day today in the Whitworth household. So, client says, I'm back on the ship. That's literally how we start. So I'm thinking, spaceship? Are we on a sailing ship? You know, what kind of ship? So I say, tell me more about that. I've just come back from a mission. Tell me more about the mission. I am a black cat, like a panther, but 7 foot tall, really strong, agile, like a space warrior. I've just come back from a mission on a planet, and that person who I was with on the mission, my partner, was a black and white reptile. He was my partner on our missions. He was, and then he begins to cry very, very passionately. Now this is the beginning of our session, the very, very beginning. And you know, you'll work with many different types of people. Normally it will take them a while to connect so strongly with that other part of themselves that they start to feel emotion. But this client, he's somnambulistic. He connects straight away and he starts to cry. He is very, very deeply moved by something that has occurred. Allow that emotion to come up, allow yourself to feel it and release it. Allow excess energy to flow out of the palms because he's shaking very, very violently. And so I want to give him that suggestion that he releases the excess energy out of the palms. Tell me more about your partner, this black and white reptilian, Reptile. He was my best friend. Tell me more about the emotion that you feel right now as you think about him. We were on a mission. We were ambushed. He was killed. Allow yourself to feel those feelings and to release them. I took them all out myself, and then I carried him. I carried him back myself to the ship, even though I was injured. Tell me more about where it was that you were injured. I was shot in the lower back and the neck, but I still managed to take them all out. Now, what was interesting to me straight away as a practitioner was the client had told me prior to the session that he was having trouble with his neck and his back. He was having a lot of pain in his neck and his back, and he did not know where this pain was coming from. It just arrived, and then we find out that part of himself in this other lifetime has sustained a very significant injury in the back and the neck. And so from a soul level, from a healing level, what I've learnt over the years through my work is if part of you, part of your soul is hurt in the quantum space, it will start to bleed into every lifetime unless it is dealt with and healed. And so that's what's occurring here. His soul feels very, very significant trauma around his friend being killed in this ambush. He himself has been shot in the neck and the back. And because that has occurred in another lifetime, in another space, in another part of him, now in this part of him, in this lifetime, he's being affected by it. So I find that very, very interesting, because a lot of the time when you get the two to connect and see each other, so the soul can see, oh, over here I've been injured. Oh, and it's affecting me over here. Once those two parts have seen each other and connected, and you've brought the higher self in and asked for that healing to be achieved, then this lifetime becomes healed. It's fascinating. Healing can be done over the quantum space just by the soul recognizing that there are two parts, one that's been hurt and the other one that is suffering. Very, very interesting. Anyway, so I ask him, even though you were injured, you still managed to take them all out. How were you able to do that? Cats are fast. I had no choice but to take them out. I didn't want to, but I had no choice. And this injury that you sustained in the back and the leg, tell me more about that. Will that injury be able to be healed? Yes. I go back. I take my friend back to the ship. We head back to the mothership. In the atmosphere, I receive treatment for my injuries, but I feel lost. I don't know what to do. Tell me about this friendship that you shared with this black and white reptile. We were like guardians of the planets that needed assistance. We would patrol and make sure that areas are safe. We did this for hundreds of years. We are never caught off guard. But this time it was different. Tell me more about how it was different this time. Somehow they were able to shield their energy signatures, and I can pick up on any energy signature around the planet, but they managed to shield themselves as they knew that we could detect them, and they managed to ambush us. We are not there to create war. We just patrol to make sure that there is peace. And they decided to ambush. Allow the energy to regulate. Allow that adrenaline to die down. Allow yourself to regulate this energy, because he's shaking. He's very, very traumatized. Tell me more about this planet that you were on a mission on the day that you were ambushed. It's in a different solar system. I'm not sure what you would call this planet. It's a planet that's more advanced. They had issues with negative beings coming over and causing disruption. So we were called there to figure out what the issue was and to help them fix it. Tell me what happened as you got there that day. We were just getting ready as normal. We fly ships. We fly in a separate ship each, single seat, almost like a stealth fighter, but no jets, different propulsion. We just ready up, we take off, we head down, and we land. Our ships fly in the atmosphere to stay hidden as we leave them, and we patrol and scan the areas where they have issues. My friend is ambushed almost right away, so I have to call the ship down, fly over to him as he is in a different place, and I see that they just ambushed him. I can't see where they are just yet, so I have to jump out of the ship from a height and glide down. It's part of our combat training, this kind of advanced offensive manoeuvres. I fly down. I can't see where they are though. I go over to my friend and he's already passed. He's passed, he's gone. Allow yourself to release that emotion. There is nothing that you could have done. You did not know that they were there. I noticed a slight distortion in the horizon. I was happy to believe that they were invisible, but I could just make out one of them slightly. So I pretended I have not noticed him. I call for backup and I walk around, and I just walk around and notice where they are. They think I haven't seen them, but I have. I can notice the distortion in the horizon, and I take them out all one by one. I don't want to have to do that, but I have no choice. As I take them out, I use a non-lethal technique. Take them all out. I have a cloaking device too. The last one, I question him. I ask him why they do these things. It's just a game to them. They feel no compassion. So I put him to sleep and wait for backup to arrive. And my take on this is he uses a non-lethal technique, so he doesn't kill them. He does something to put them to sleep. And when backup arrives, they will collect these individuals who all turn out to be reptilian, and they will take them somewhere else to decide what is to be done with them. And I carry my friend onto the ship, and we head back to the main ship in the atmosphere. Tell me about these beings that killed your friend. There are the reptiles that do not want to see life. They do not acknowledge life. I cannot understand them. Why is it that they feel no compassion? I feel like they are a young group that somehow split away from the main group, and they have all of this technology, but they don't understand the ramifications of it. They find it fun to go around messing with people. What do you do now that you have taken your friend back to another ship? I don't know what to do now. We always work together. He was a reptile and I am a feline. We were supposed to be enemies, but we had the most fun together because we tormented each other in a fun way. He's a big burly reptilian who is very, very scary looking, but very soft inside. And I am a soft black panther, but not very tough, I guess. But we fit together perfectly. We're the perfect team. And now he is gone. And the client is devastated at this point, like utter devastation. From a higher dimensional perspective, how they feel, how much love is felt in that feeling of oneness. There isn't really a way to describe that from a third dimensional perspective, my client at this point is absolutely devastated from the loss of this friend, this very special being that he's worked with for thousands of years to patrol this area of the galaxy. And because of that, he says, I feel it's time to retire. I know that he is still here in spirit. I know that his energy is not gone. But it is different now. He has to go back to his family in spirit. We have to part ways. And this is why in my next lifetime, I become a dragon. And he begins to cry again, and I give him that suggestion to allow him to release that emotion. And I acknowledge the fact that he shared a very, very special bond with this reptilian. And it's important to note that this particular bond is so special because at this point in time in the galaxy, the felines very much had their own place, and the dragons, the reptiles, the dragon energy very much had their space. But the dragon energy fell because of this group of younger, less evolved reptilians that decided to go off and create havoc all over the universe. And then there were some individuals, much like what we're doing now, who put their hands up to say, okay, we're going to help the more evolved reptiles, reptilians, try and bring this younger group back in. And this feline, this particular client, this is what this feline decided to do, to go and help. So he's at this point in time where he's lost his friend, and he now decides he doesn't want to be a feline anymore. He says, I want to pay tribute to him, so I dedicate myself to the training of becoming a dragon. You can't just become a dragon. You have to train. Tell me more about that training that you have to undergo. You have to endure lifetimes of solitude, lifetimes of being alone. It's training because the master dragons are completely invisible. Tell me why the dragons have to be alone. Not all dragons have to be alone, just the master dragons. And it is a master dragon that I want to become. Tell me about the master dragons. Very, very, very hard work. It takes thousands of years of training and meditation using the dragon energy. I'm able to use this because I want to help those lower vibrations to reach a higher place so they understand what it is that they are doing. Tell me about the dragon energy and how it is different. It's very strong. You have to respect the energy, work with it, understand how it works, what it needs. You cannot just have this energy. It can be destructive if you are not trained. I said to my friend that I will master his energy because he was a human dragon, a dragon in humanoid form. I said I would carry on this legacy, his dragon species, as there are not as many left. He was a black and white because he was the highest. He was of the highest rank, I suppose. He was the strongest, but also the most compassionate. And he had to go back to his spirit family. He cannot continue the dragons, so I said I would do it for him. I was always a feline before. I come from the Lyran world, from Lyra. I was always a cat. I have never been anything else except cats, because cats have some of the best energy. But now I have to change. It's time for me to change. In the higher realms, it was a separation point that is supposed to happen. I don't want to change, but I have to. I have lived some great lives as a cat. Some of the best lives, the most luxurious. Cats are they like shiny things. We like shiny things. He had cities that were almost golden, stunning places. Everything is such high frequency there. We all lived such high frequency lives. Everything was perfect. And I saw how the dragon people were having a difficult time. And so I decided to help those people, to offer my skills. And now I am carrying on their legacy. I don't want their legacy to be forgotten. But it's a solitary path, so it can be challenging. Tell me more about that difficult time that the dragon people were facing. What is it that occurred? There was a young group of very underdeveloped dragons that stole a lot of technology and went off like teenagers and did their own thing, but in a very destructive kind of way. Dragons have tried to make them see sense, but it seems like a dense energy has formed over them, and there is nothing that we can do. I have tried to help them. The situation, but it didn't have to happen. It's like teenagers grabbing hold of a high technology that they shouldn't have hold of. They've not developed a sense of responsibility. So they just play games with people's solar systems, and we have to let it play out. Tell me more about why you feel that way. We cannot directly interfere with them, for if we do, we should create our own karma. We have to try and make them understand, but they are too stubborn and realize that they can get away with these things. But in reality, they cannot, because they create so much karma. It will take them an indefinite amount of lifetimes to repay what they have done and to make things right again. But they have no choice but to do that. It is how this reality works. You create karma and you have to pay it off. There is no getting around it. Tell me more about what happens next when you make that choice to change paths between being a feline and becoming a master dragon. Tell me what happens. There are not many who want to become dragons anymore. The people think that they are not very good because what has been happening in the universe and this galaxy. So they don't want anything to do with the reptiles. But I know what has happened here from the beginning, so I understand. It's best for me at this point to carry on the legacy of the dragons. The black and white reptile cannot continue because there is no more of his lineage. So he wanted to move on with his soul path. And I said I would continue and make sure that the different solar systems are educated in what dragons really are. Tell me more about the training that you have to undergo to become this master dragon. It is difficult. I would not recommend it. I would not recommend the training. I am nothing special to go through the training, but it can be rough. It's lifetimes, and each lifetime you have to incarnate in different places, and you have to endure certain experiences, whether you are alone in the wild and you have to survive, or whether you are inside a mountain and you are just some kind of a cave creature. You have to experience what it is like, just being a creature that exists for no particular reason. You have to experience the pain of being attacked, all the different things that are very difficult for creatures to endure, even a bird. You have to be a bird. Imagine what it feels like to have to keep one eye open every single night, just in case something comes along that does not like you. These are the trainings that very advanced dragons must experience over and over again until they master their energy. Now, as an accomplished dragon, it does not feel that way. I just assist where I can. I just exist as a dragon and have done for thousands of years. But what keeps me going is remembering my friend. And it is by no means a pointless endeavour. We continue and we contribute a great deal to the balancing of the energy in this solar system. Tell me how you assist where you can, either through direct extension of my energy to wherever it is needed, or to directly incarnate with the dragon energy to place that much needed energy in that place. Wherever I am needed, I go to that place and I just blend in and I exist there and I anchor the energy into the planet that needs that energy. And after I have done that incarnation, I then come back fully and rest. And is this how you are connected to my client? Yes, it is the same situation. It can be difficult, but I offer my services wherever I am needed. It does not matter how difficult it is. It is what my training has trained me for. Tell me why this energy is needed on earth right now. I am just one piece, one part of who is here. Everyone is here at the minute. There are many different types of energies here. The dragon is just a small part of the collective, but my energy is more for grounding and stabilizing. The other energies can express much easier from a solid ground. If there is a solid grounding, their energy can work better. So I always find this really interesting. Even though you think of a dragon as flying, dragons have really great grounding energy. And so many dragons will have things about where they have to ground their feet into the ground. And this particular client, his energy is very, very stabilizing. Just being in his presence makes you feel fantastic. It has the same effect on me as if I am holding a ball of shungite. It's absolutely wonderful. And so at this point I say, tell me more about why everybody is here on planet Earth at this time. This is where the offshoot of the dragon people have nested. So those teenage reptilians that took all of the technology and went away, planet Earth is where those beings nested. It is their home now. So we are all here, not to kick them out, but to make them realize and try and elevate their energy as well. We are not at war. We work through energy. We must make them understand what they are doing. And we are achieving this. Tell me more about how you are achieving this. We make them realize that higher frequency that we have, the higher frequency that we are living, is more enjoyable than what they experience. They don't need to play their games. They can mature and develop. It just takes time. Tell me more about how it is that we are helping those dragon people, those reptiles, to see that they are playing games. The frequency on the planet is rising. Now, it's making some of them realize what they are doing, and some of them are waking up now, and over time, they will eventually be woken up to the point that they no longer feel the need to play games. It just takes time. It is for the solar system, the sun and the galaxy to decide, and it is within their right to. It is their decision when they will allow the change to take place. We just facilitate this. Tell me more about what kinds of things the sun, the earth and the galaxy will take into account when they are making that decision to roll out those changes. I think they just want to express their gratitude to people for assisting, and they will do what they need to do at the right time. What is it that's causing these high frequency energies to wash over the planet? The increasing energy on the planet is due to everybody who has incarnated here now having a higher energy and therefore increasing the planet's energy. We all work together to help the planet, and the planet is able to raise its frequency. I am not a part of that plan, I guess you could say. I do not get involved in any of when this is going to happen. I leave that to the other beings on the ships. They are the experts. I am just a grounding rock. That is my purpose, really. I ground these energies into the planet so the beings that are here with the higher energies have an easier time in helping the planet to raise her energy. That is why we are all here. We all play our part. We all play our part in the process of the ascension. And so that is all of the information that I wanted to share with you guys today. I absolutely loved that session because it was about the times in the galaxy, how all of this started, and back in the times of Lyra, and also the dragon energy as well. I am going to leave you now to have an amazing summer, and I will catch up with you again in September. Whatever you do, have a fantastic summer, and make sure no matter what happens, you keep vibrating high. I'm sending all my love to each and every one of you. I'll see you in September. Bye bye.